Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Matt O'Donnell. I'm the Vice President of Sales here at Action Industries. I'm excited to kick off today's session and appreciate you taking some time to spend with us here. At Action Industries, we spend a lot of time in the field listening to our customers. And one of the things that we constantly hear is people are thirsty for more product training, more knowledge. And that's exactly why we have launched these webinar series to provide ongoing education and to support your success. Our first session was focused on the LiftMaster residential line, and it was extremely well received and went very well. In fact, to this day, we're still getting a lot of hits on that, so people are trying to get that information. So with that, we're excited to keep this momentum going. At Action Industries, we pride ourselves on delivering value, not just our products. Our commitment includes no order minimums, dedicated customer service and sales team, 7 distribution centers for fast delivery, one-stop shop convenience, and supplier consolidation benefits. And our ATEC white glove delivery service is just some of the things that we do to commit to you and to provide the better service and make sure that we partner with you to make your job easier and help your business grow. So before we dive into today's webinar, I want to introduce our presenters here. So we have Josh McCann and Michael Rudd from LiftMaster, and they're going to go ahead and lead us through the presentation today. There will be a Q&A session at the end, so be sure to enter your questions into the general chat area, and we will be able to answer all those at the end of the session here. So with that, I'll turn it over to Josh and let him lead us through the session.
Yes, thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it. So as Matt said, I'm Josh McCann. I am the account manager for Action Industries. They are a national account of LiftMaster, and I have the privilege of working with them and supporting them with the LiftMaster products. I also have with me Michael Rudd. He's our senior product manager for residential here at LiftMaster, and we are excited to go through the 3.0 accessories. As Matt mentioned, we went through the operators in the first session, and now we're going through the accessories because there's been a lot of questions. So we can go to the next slide. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover the new accessory portfolio, so all the new accessories that have launched. We're going to cover compatibility. That you'll get a lot of questions around what's compatible, what's not. We also have changes coming with our 3.0 technology, specifically centered around our RJO. So that's your 9802232, and some commercial changes as well. We put together a top 10 questions, which we'll go through at the end, that will highlight some of the common and duplicate questions that we hear as we talk about those 3.0 accessories. And then we have some keypad changes and some new accessories that are coming as well that we'll talk about. So the new accessory portfolio, what has changed? Okay, so with Security 3.0, there is a new encryption that prevents hacking and counterfeits. So this technology is very different than the 2.0. It has Bluetooth technology in it, which will improve range and will help some of the counterfeit accessories. So you might have, some customers that might go on Amazon or other websites to buy accessories. With this new technology, we will be able to see those counterfeit accessories and potentially shut them off, and they will just stop working. So that's a new improvement that we've made with Security 3.0. We've also, like I said, increased the range, and that's through that Bluetooth broadcast. And we've also added QR codes on the back of our remotes, keypads, which make for easier pairing as well. So really, in a nutshell, that's really what we did. We've increased security. and we've made it easier to program.
And I just wanted to add to that for Josh is to explain the encryption and the security provide. Legacy previous products was radio frequency, and that was always a one-way signal. So you'd press the remote, the radio frequency go out to the GDO would receive it and open and close. With our new technology and Bluetooth and with an encryption, it's actually a two-way process. So you'll press the remote, the GDO will recognize the remote and say, I know you, but it'll also send a signal back to the remote and say, you need to prove to me you are who I think you are. And then the remote provides its credentials and open and close the garage. And that happens over milliseconds, but that enables us to keep the security and provide a better connection process as well.
Thank you, Michael. So the remotes, what has changed with the remotes? Well, we've increased the range due to that Bluetooth broadcast. So the range is about 1,300 feet. Also with the Bluetooth broadcast, it's an extended 10 seconds. So once you hit that button, right, it's going to constantly look for that communication that Michael just talked about. The security 3.0 encryption. Again, if someone might be able to figure out the code, right, we'll be able to see that on our platform and potentially kick that code out where that remote that they maybe bought on a website or somewhere else stops working. We also have, as I mentioned, the QR codes where from a pairing perspective, makes it very easy. Everything out of the box will be paired, but let's just say that you have the customer wants to add another remote, right? There's really two options to get that that second remote paired. There is a QR code on the back of that remote. You could take the customer's device and scan it, and that will open up MyQ. All right. And then you can see from the picture here, you've got 3 buttons, 1, 2, and 3, and it'll say, let's assign your button. So on the second remote, you would just hit on your phone, let's just say we're programming the 1 button. You would hit that, it would then communicate, and it's paired. All right. So very simple process to pair additional remotes to that GDO. Now, if the customer doesn't use MyQ, right? Or maybe you're not in a position to do that, you can also use the Learn button on the unit as well. The other nice features that these remotes have is you can also, in the MyQ app, you can remove your remote from there. So let's just say that you needed to delete a remote. You no longer really have to, reset the unit. You can just go into the MyQ app, hit delete, and it will only delete that remote. You can also personalize these remotes as well. You can name them. So let's just say you paired that second remote. You wanted that second remote to be Kendall, right? In this example, you would just put Kendall, and then it will alert you every time Kendall opens up the garage door or hits that button. It will say, Kendall access the garage. It also gives you status alerts as well, where in this particular example that you can see here on the screen, because the battery is low, it will alert you, telling you that the battery level for Kendall's remote is low and it needs to be replaced. So, really have upgraded the remotes, not only from a pairing perspective, but security and also personalization of these accessories to make it easier for not only you, but also the customer. Michael, anything you'd like to add here?
Yeah, I think a couple of things I'd like to bring up is with the new programming. So if you see in the center section, auto learn, as Josh said, if you scan the QR code and you have MyQ on the phone, it'll open up your MyQ and it'll actually ask you which GDO you want to pair the product, the remote to. But in the same, what happened as well is MyQ has picked up the credentials of that single remote. So every QR code on the remote is individual. It picks up the credentials and the GDO is going to be put into learn mode automatically, so you don't have to press any GDO button. And the GDO is looking for that specific remote. So I'm sure you may have heard of what we call ghost openings. When you put the GDO into learn mode, a neighbor goes by, presses the remote at the same time. Next thing you know, your GDO is opening up at 3 a.m. in the morning because the neighbor's gone to work. In this case, if you use auto learn, that can't happen because the GDO itself is looking for that specific remote that you're trying to learn to the GDO. The second part I wanted to bring up is this is some of the areas we've been trying to provide more and more support on is the middle left, the auto frequency detection. So in our legacy remotes, we used to have a program button, and the user or the installer would have to look at a manual and understand how many presses of the remote button to program into the right code. With auto frequency detection, you put the GDO in, you put the remote into learn mode, the GDO into learn mode, and then you just have to press the button 2 times for a max remote or 3 times for a universal remote, and the remote will send out signals. It'll connect to the GDO, and then it will send another signal to operate the GDO to confirm programming. During that programming, to confirm it, the garage door will move, whether up or down, depending on its position, and then you press the remote to lock that code in. That's one of the areas where I think that's very new. It's different, and I think we've seen the most sort of like pain points on programming. So what I would suggest is definitely be patient and wait for that door to move before you press the button to lock in. Because when you actually through the process, the light on the GDO will flash before the GDO actually moves, and we see some people will just press the remote automatically with that flash, and that will not work with the coding. So that's just one recommendation I would put out, with that new programming.
Yep, that's a great point. Wait for the door to move rather than the flashing of the light. Yes. Next slide. So these are our keypads, redesigned, bigger, soft touch buttons, weather resistant. So they were tested in extreme conditions. Also has the security 3.0 in it as well. It does have the in-app management as well, and it also will tell you when the battery is low in this, as in the remote. So with the keypads, we redesigned it for that soft touch. That's really what the customers really were asking for when we surveyed our customers. And it also has the one-touch close as well. Michael, anything else to add on the keypads?
Yeah, the number one feedback we've received from keypads for over a decade has been that the buttons are too small and they're too close to each other. So a lot of fat fingering. So we were excited to be able to redesign the keypad, and therefore we have spaced the remote, the buttons out and made them larger to press. So in cold weather, when you have gloves on, you'll be able to press the buttons as well versus pressing 2 or 3 at the same time. Another big thing that's come up, a big change, is we've removed the cover, and I know that's a big question, and we've got a lot of questions on that. The reason we've removed the cover is with our new design, we don't need that. We have tested this keypad to the same level of our current keypads, both with the cover up and cover down. That includes, and we've actually met IP54 standards with that testing, and we do like ICE testing too. So we feel very confident that these keypads will be as resistant as our legacy keypads. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, the game changer here with our keypads is the in-app management. Today, as I'm sure you know, our legacy keypads have temporary pins, and you have to press a combination of buttons on the keypad to set them up, and you have no feedback at all. You just have to pray that you press the right buttons in the right sequence. Whereas now with the in-app management, you'll be able to, you see your account, you'll see the pin assigned to you, be able to change the pin, be able to set up guest pins to allow people in certain days, certain times. And that's a completely different process than as we've ever had before. That is with Security 3 GDOs only, but that's really a game changer for our standard keypads. Obviously, the video keypads have that already, but we're really excited to bring that feature to these new keypads.
Yeah, and I believe 20 pins total, correct?
Yes, yeah, there's because of the in-app management and the fact that now we're assigning people pins, both with all our new MyQ products is looking for individual pin assignment. You can program up to 4 pins just on manually to the keypad to a Security 3 GDO. If you want to do more pins, then you need to use MyQ. But the Max and Universal keypads, they're with legacy GDOs, they still have the same functionality. So you'll be able to add up to 24 pins on those GDOs, and also they still have the temporary pin management. But as I said, that's not always the easiest function to utilize.
Yep. All right, control panels were redesigned as well, more of a modern design, bigger bigger buttons to open and close. So that's our push bar and light panel. Again, easier for customers to find that push bar to either open or close their door, or to turn on the light. Again, like I mentioned earlier, these are paired right out of the box. Also, I get a lot of questions around, does the light come on when you walk through the photo eyes? The light will come on with the camera, right? Because each operator has a camera, so when it senses movement, the light will come on. We got the timer to close, and lock mode, and we also have vacation mode as well, where the only way to open that door would be from this control panel. We do have various options. We have an LCD, which comes in the premium unit with motion as well. So if you were to walk in front of that control panel, the light will come on as well. So those control panels have motion activation as well. And the middle tier 6580 has the control panel with motion as well. And so, with that, again, the modern design, the larger push bar for the opening, closing, and the light were really, what customers were asking for, and that's what we delivered in our control panels.
Yeah, and just to add a couple of things here, some questions we've heard, with the early launch. You can learn up to 2 of these control panels to each GDO. Now the technology before was the power came through the wire, and the direction of the legacy GDOs used to connect through an e-serial code going through the wires. With the new Security 3 GDOs and control panels, the power still comes through the wires. We did consider wireless wall controls. The issue is the battery life was going to be too short and would frustrate people. So we decided to keep the wiring for power, but the technology is Bluetooth. So again, we have the security element of the 2-way signal. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that we've taken a lot of the functions that came with the wall controls, such as the lock mode, and then the timer to close. We've brought them into the app. the MyQ app. And for an example would be, you go on vacation and you forget to use lock mode, and you could be sitting on a beach in Australia, and you can turn that lock mode on from the MyQ app versus having to be in the garage itself.
So a lot of the questions that we also get are, what's replacing, I used to buy the, 380 UT, what's replacing that? So I thought this was a nice illustration of, the remotes, keypads, and control panels, what is currently out there today with 2.0. And what is the replacement part number, right? So if you're buying the 893, which is a 3-button, that can be replaced with the 993M. Now remember, from a compatibility perspective, the 3.0 out of the box comes with our our standard, right? That only can be used with the 3.0 operators, but then you have our Max and our universals, which will work with some of our older models, which we'll go through here in a minute. But I thought this was a good illustration on, what is out there today and what is that new part number. So here's the compatibility that I was just talking about, right? So, every opener has the white learn button. Every 3.0 opener has the white learn button. And the S's are the only ones that work with that white button. But if you have an older model, right, say you have a red learn button or an orange learn button, and you needed a remote, right, you would want to go with the 993M, the Max, because that will work. Not only will it work with the new 3.0 operator, but it'll also go back as far as the red and orange operator. All right, so you have the 993M, which is the Max. You also have the keypad, which is the 979M for Max, which will also go back to the red and orange learn buttons. And then we have our universals. We have our 992U. That is a 2-button remote, and that will go back all the way to green. And that also includes competitor garage door openers. So Genie, Wayne Dalton. It will also pair to our competitors. And then we also have a universal keypad that will work also with our competitors. So this is a nice illustration of what is compatible, what accessories are compatible with which operators. Again, this is a question we get all the time. Hey, I have this kind of operator, what remote or keypad do I need? And this is available and has been sent out. And if you need it, just let one of your account managers at Action know, and they will get it to you. So, why buy additional accessories from Action, right? Action not only sells the operators, but they also sell, all the accessories that you need as well, right? And I'll just run through these bullet points and, of some of the reasons of why, right? So, additional accessories are being purchased at point of sale in our big boxes right now, right? So that's someone walking in to a big box store, picking up their opener, right? And they are purchasing right now about 1.5 accessories per opener, right? So, if you're out there and you're talking to a customer and you're either replacing their opener or you're installing a new one, I would definitely have that conversation with the homeowner about an extra remote or a keypad. Why? Because the customers that really aren't talking to anybody are purchasing those in some of our big box locations. So it's definitely a conversation that you're going to want to have. Accessories don't have to ride on the weekly truck that you receive from Action, so you don't have to wait for them. They can get them out to you. The other reason why you want to buy accessories from Action is because some of these aftermarket accessories are going to be potentially stop working. And that goes back to what me and Michael talked about earlier with the 3.0 security and the encryption, where potentially, some of these accessories will get kicked off the platform and will not work. So if they go on into a website and get a remote, it might work for a month, it might work for a day, it might work for 2 weeks, but down the road, it's going to stop working. So just another reason to get your accessories from Action and sell it to the customer.
And Josh, just on that,
yeah,
just
to
add to that as well. The accessories on Amazon today, if you put in LiftMaster remote, there's many counterfeit accessories, and they are not going to work with our new GDOs. And our encryption should mean that there should be no counterfeit going forward. But as Josh says, if we are set up that if indeed our encryption is broken, which we do not expect to happen, we do have that ability to track that and then remove potential counterfeits. So definitely say to your customers that they need to get accessories from you, because if they go to Amazon, whatever they purchase there will not work.
Yep. Great point. More revenue, right? More revenue for your business, right? By selling additional items, more referrals, right? Customers tend to be, completely satisfied when you provide them a great service and give them what they're looking for. And then double-digit growth in home automation, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But we're really seeing and are going to see home automation continue to have double-digit growth, right? So that's cameras, that's the video keypad that we have, doorbell, we have some locks that are coming. We have all these new accessories that are gonna be coming in 2026 that are going to help you again provide that service to your customer and give them what they want. And who doesn't want to be a part of double-digit growth in a particular area? So 267 opportunity with a 6580 and the 2220, right? So when a customer buys a premium unit, right, and we consider a premium unit the new 6690, you're going to get 2 remotes, a keypad, in that box. But there's an opportunity with the 6580 and the 2220 to sell an extra second remote and a keypad. And when you're out there talking with customers, right, one of the questions that I think probably would encompass everything the customer is looking for is how many cars need access to the garage door or doors, right? And do you have friends or family members that need access to the doors without a remote? Why is this question kind of encompassing all in one, right? Well, if they have 2 cars, right, that need access to and want to control the garage door, and they get a 6580 that only has 1 remote, we can add you can add that second remote. So now both cars, right, can access that garage door. If there's kids, right, that might not be driving, but want access to the garage door, right? That's where a keypad would come into play, right? So I just put some scenarios here where 1 garage door, you could recommend the 991S and the L979S. Both cars can access the garage when needed, along with friends and family, right? So you've got your keypad and your second remote. If you've got a 2-car garage with a 3.0 security on one door, right? So that's one of our new openers on the first garage door, and a 2.0 LiftMaster on the other door, right? You could sell them Max products, right? Because the Max product is going to work with that 2.0 up until the red learn button, right? If they have a green, you got to go universal. But the Max product is probably what you're gonna want to go with. And then if you have a two-car garage and you have one of our LiftMaster 3.0s on the one door, and maybe they have a Genie on the second door, or a Wayne Dalton, right? You're gonna want to sell them a universal, because a universal is going to work with our competitors, right? So I thought that was a great question that maybe you could use when you're selling a 6580 or 2220, to have that customer really tell you, if they have two cars, if they have kids that will need access to that garage, you then can supply them the accessories that will fit their needs. So what's changing? We'll kind of shift gears here towards 2026. All right. So what's changing with our RJO? RJO is our residential jack shaft operator. That's our 98022 and 32. So starting in January, we'll begin to have our Security 3.0 Max as a standard pack-in accessory. As you can see from the picture here, the larger, the second picture with the 993 Max, the larger button, which is the button 1, that's going to be auto-programmed with the RJO, okay? The other two buttons will be open in case you need to program it to maybe a second door with an operator on it. But the pack-in accessory is going to be our 3.0, and the first button 1, will be auto-programmed to that unit. Commercial, we get a lot of questions about commercial openers and will our 3.0 accessories work with these particular items. So you've got, our L5 commercial door operators that have been around for a while. You have some of our gate operators that will work. Again, the biggest question we get is, will commercial openers work with 3.0 accessories? The answer is yes, but there is extra steps to get these 3.0 accessories to work with, say, let's just say an L5, right? L5 operator. There are extra steps that need to be done to program that 3.0 to that L5 in this example. And we are going to give Action videos that you can watch of how to do that, okay? My advice would be to, if you have a commercial operator, is to still use the 2.0 accessories available. That is probably going to be your best bet, is to use your 2.0. If you come into a situation where you have to use a 3.0, it will work, and we'll make sure that we provide the steps and the videos of how to program a 3.0 to a commercial opener. So confidence in these new accessories. Millions of tests were conducted. I know Michael mentioned earlier about our keypad, how we took the door, the flip door off of the keypad, right? And there was really no difference in performance. Just have confidence that these accessories went through millions of button activations. You can see from the top picture, those are little pointers that constantly hit the buttons over and over and over and over and over again to be tested. They went through a range of extreme heat and extreme cold to make sure that there was no cracking, And we also tested our openers in the same fashion as well. So have the confidence that, these went through extreme conditions, and tested, very well. So I talked about in between 2025 and 2028, double-digit home automation growth, right? And you're going to see more and more products come from LiftMaster that are going to integrate into that MyQ ecosystem. And one of them has been out for a while, and that's our video keypad, as you can see here. And one of the uh, pieces of feedback that we've received that the battery wasn't very good. And we've made changes to the battery, I believe June, July timeframe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, but about that time frame, we made changes to our battery that improved the battery life on it. But there's some customers that said, look, even though you've improved the battery, that's great, but I still want this hardwired, I still want it hardwired. So we came out with a power adapter kit that can be plugged into an outlet. And you can see from this picture here that the casing of the battery has the two screws on the back of it, and then you have your wire that goes into into those two screws, and then that wire then gets plugged in to an outlet. So we do have the ability now to have a hardwired video keypad for those customers that either don't want to charge their battery after some time and want that peace of mind. So again, I just wanted to make sure that I covered that power adapter kit that is available. And then the next piece is our smart video doorbell that we have out. This doorbell, offers the, flexibility to be installed, again, either wired or wireless. All right. And if someone has a wired doorbell on their house, right, on the back of this unit, again, similar to the video keypad, there's two little screws, and you would wire that in, and you'd be done, and it'd be up and running. It also has a battery option as well, and again, that battery life is really dependent on how active the unit is, how strong the Wi-Fi is, but it really performs very well in testing with that battery. It has real-time motion alerts as well. So if someone were to come to your front door, it would pop up on your phone that someone is at your door. Again, weather resistant, went through all the testing. There is a two-way talk, so you can actually communicate with someone through your device. If they again came to your door, and then also with the subscription, you could get video storage with this as well. So again, just more home automation products coming, and also with this video doorbell, we also have a chime that's coming in the near future that will plug in to an outlet, and if it's not hardwired, right, because the hardwired would have that doorbell ring inside your house, but if you don't have a doorbell, you can plug this in, and it will chime when someone hits that button. So now we'll go through the top 10 questions, and then maybe answer any questions that are in the chat. So the first one, will Security 2.0 accessories work with Security 3.0 openers? No, only 3.0 accessories will work with 3.0 openers, and that's the S's, right? Will accessories come pre-programmed out of the box? Yes, accessories are pre-programmed out of the box. If you want to add another accessory, you have a couple options to do that, like we talked about. You could do the QR code, or you could do the learn button. What happens when new remotes encounter interference? This is a question we get a lot. The signal will continue to send because of that Bluetooth 10-second broadcast, right? If it hits interference, it will continue to send out until it connects to that GDO. And the Bluetooth obviously reduces interference as well. What is the range on the keypads?
Josh, just to let me add a little on there as well.
Ahead,
I know one of the frustrations as well as in the past has been LED lights causing interference with GDOs. With Bluetooth, the LED lights interference is on a different band than Bluetooth, so you shouldn't have any issues with LED lights going forward with GDOs with the remotes and range.
Yep. Thank you, Michael. What is the range on the keypads? It's about 600 feet. And again, like we mentioned earlier when we were talking about the number of pins, right? You can hold up to 4 pins. But if you need more, if you have the MyQ app, you can then register 16 through the MyQ for a total of 20. I get the question all the time of how is Big Box and LiftMaster different on accessories? 70% of the SKUs in retail have one button remotes, or one remote. Okay. The next slide. Can you program a car to the 3.0 openers? Yes, works with HomeLink. Does the wireless wall station work with 3.0 openers? Yes. Does the wall station have a learn button? Yes. If you flip up the push bar that opens up the garage, there's a learn button in there. What openers come with motion detection wall controls? The premium and the plus model. So that's your 6690 and your 6580 will have the motion detection wall controls. And the premium has a LCD display where you can view information like cycle counts. Yes. The premium LCD, you can obviously that you can view various information. Cycle counts is one of them.
And yeah, just to add to that,
go ahead.
Why we've taken some of the functionality out of the multifunction and motion detection control panel, the LCD still has all the same functions as the current Security 2 LCD wall control.
Correct. And then what is the QR code on the front of the box? Those are instructions for pairing.
Yeah, that's helpful with the auto frequency detecting I was mentioning. There's the video, watching the videos is important, and you'll see the light flash, and then wait for that door to open before you program in with the legacy GDOs.
Okay, well, great job with the session, folks, and appreciate answering these top 10 questions. We do have one question that came through the chat. So again, a reminder, if you have any questions that you'd like the LiftMaster team to answer, please go ahead and put them in the chat right now and we'll address them. So the one question is sort of related to number 6, but somebody's having trouble programming the HomeLink. Are there any tips and tricks that you recommend or directions to follow? Where would you guide that particular customer to?
We have a video. I can share that with the team here so we can get that out to the person who needs it. Yeah, so the new Security 3 GDOs will work all the way for HomeLink 4, 5, and 6, which goes back to mostly the cars that are after 2016. There are some before that, but in general, if you have a car after 2016, the Security 3 GDOs will link to that.
Excellent. Okay, at this time, I see no more questions. So I will turn it back over to Matt O'Donnell.
All right. Well, listen, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thanks to our presenters for sharing their time and their insights. I think that's invaluable. You know, and we hope this session provided you with some valuable information you can take back to your teams, to your customers, and it just helps us continue to win together and move forward. If you have any follow-up questions, need anything, feel free to reach out to our sales team or our customer service team. We're here and ready to help you. We have a very good understanding of these products and have a good inventory supply. So get your orders in. All right. So any rate, as far as just keep an eye out for any future sessions that we're going to put together. We think these are valuable and we like doing them. So thanks for your time. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.